It was a girls' table, it was probably inappropriate, but I wasn't thinking anything sexual, I just wanted to get the Bible off her lap.
So here we are, walking is back as we're easing out of lockdown. Thought I'd return to the glorious walks, and we've got a very special guest today because it's one of the most requested walkies, Mr. Mark Goldbridge.
Sure, it was walkies and not wank.
So Mark, we're here by the canals of Birmingham. Is that a regular haunt of yours?
No, I think if I said that, I'd probably be in trouble. They'll probably get tracked down. I used to walk this route to work, and many people who watch me on the United States, I say many.
Yeah, that's fine.
There wasn't many watching then. on the phone, I'd get off the train just over there and walk up to the bank I worked at, which we're going to head up towards there, and do my daily transfer news walking along here.
Lovely stuff.
So yeah, you get cyclists and office workers listening to me shout about Paul Pogba and God knows what other crap we weren't going to buy back then.
We do. I normally ask people if they do much walking, but I know you do because I see your walks on YouTube. You've always been into walking?
I do like walking, but I generally like walking when I'm going to get somewhere. I don't like just going walking
for a purpose.
Yeah. So like, we're walking for a purpose today. Walking to work, taking the dog for a walk because it needs exercise. But generally, just going for an hour's walk wouldn't do it for me. Same as running, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of exercise? You're not running or something?
No, I think we're mainly just walking, like walking people to school and not random people. I'm not available. I just want to clarify that. No, walking my kids to school. Let's clarify that. And walking to shops and getting haircuts and things. I've always been. I'd rather have a walk. I don't understand these people. I see it when I'm walking my daughter to school. Like we'll walk past the house, we'll see them putting their kids in the car, then we'll see them at the school. And we've already walked 5 minutes, and it's like a 20-minute walk, but they will drive that 10 minute. And I think it's a 20-minute walk. So I'll always try and get exercise that way. I'm not getting in the car for 5 minutes.
The only time I think, when I see that, I think, why are you doing that? And then I think, well, maybe they're going on somewhere afterwards. Like maybe they're driving to work.
They're not, Robbie.
These
people are there.
These people
on the way back.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
in that case,
just getting back for another 5 minutes of the rain or something like that.
Have all these walks that I've done, I think you're the person that I've had most people say, oh, you've got to get Mark Goldbridge on. And there's a lot of people who say things to me like, he's like a sort of more northern version of you, sort of thing. We have a similar sort of space that we work in, I'd say. Would you agree?
Yeah. We're probably around some sort of age, same sort of
late 20s.
Place in life. Yeah. Late 20s. Touching early 30s. And I think there is that sort of similarity. Yeah? Lots of similar sort of topics. Football manager, and we both think we're funny.
Yeah. Do you
Other people laugh at us, really. I don't think we could sit here and do a standoff of comedy jokes.
No, I don't think so.
That's not our style.
Not one-liners. No.
To be laughed at.
Do you get people saying to you? I've had people say, "Oh, I really like you. You're so unintentionally funny."
Yeah. So it's just an insult.
Yeah, okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm trying. It's not. I'm doing some comic.
But then you get people the other way. Like they'll watch the cooking stuff, and you probably get it as well, and they'll go, "Oh, he's just trying so hard to be David Brent and Alan Partridge and and even with a bit of Del Boy in there and this, that, and the other." I'm like, I'm either unintentionally funny or I'm a comedy mastermind.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, apparently I'm not even a Man United fan. I've been doing it for 5 years for 5 hours a day. I mean, I want an Oscar.
Yeah.
I want an Oscar.
It seems a weird thing to make up.
Yeah, it would be very weird. There's a lot better ways to make money. Like, if I can mastermind that for 5 years, I can mastermind a big bank robbery and get away with it. There's lots of things you can do.
You mentioned bank robbery.
Unintentionally funny.
That's
going to be on our gravestone.
Yeah, definitely. You say bank robbery. You used to be a policeman. I like talking about mundane stuff. What's the most mundane part of police? Is it paperwork? You hear a lot about paperwork.
I think the worst thing I absolutely hated was, I mean, this was my stamping ground. I mean, on a sinister level, just up there, that just came into me. We might get it on the way past. There was a dead body just floating one morning that we came down to. But the worst thing ever would be coming in on a shift and like working in a city centre, whether it's London, wherever. all you want to do is just get out there and help the public. That's the tagline. But realistically, you just want to get out there and get involved, and it's exciting. It's rewarding. The worst thing is you come on a night shift on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the morning, and the sergeant says, "Can you go up to City Hospital? We've got an all-night watch," where basically you just sit and watch a prisoner who's, I don't know, done something to get himself in hospital. They're asleep for 9 hours and you're sat there. And this is
in a little chair next to them.
Yeah, in a little chair. You can't watch TV because everyone else is asleep. You're in a quiet ward, and that's your shift. And that is soul destroying. That takes a different. I think that's helped me when I've watched Man United under managers. This is only 2 hours.
I remember talking to cameramen who worked at Sky, and I was saying the worst job you could possibly get is transfer deadline day, where you have to just go and just sit outside someone's house, and you'll sit there all day because he might be going or something like that, and then about 10 o'clock his wife will come out and go, he's not coming out today. He's going, yeah, and you go, all right, okay, get off then. Yeah. So yeah, how was the police?
It was good. I mean, we were just saying on the way down here, weren't we? I've said it before, I went into it because I liked detective series like Inspector Morse.
Yeah.
Not Rosemary in Time and all that shit, but like good stuff. I did it for 10 years and I enjoyed it. But I think for me, being quite creative, because that's what we are at the end of the day, I was just like, I can't keep going round this hamster wheel of. Yeah. But it was very rewarding, and I've got a lot of time for, especially over the last year, the NHS and the police, and I suppose we've got to throw in the fire service.
Is there a rivalry between the emergency services?
There's a great line, and I can't remember what it's from. I think it might be. It's probably Alan Partridge, because I've memorised it. It might well be Alan Partridge, and he's doing an award, and he said, "These people today are so bloody brave. They're like 8 policemen and 15 firemen," and it's like, yeah. I know one of my best mates is a fireman. They get to sleep. They get paid to sleep and play computer games and watch a film, and the police don't. So I actually went to a 999 Christmas do once, and people had to call 999 because it kicked off between firemen and police. Yeah,
nice. Yeah. Now I've got a friend who's a fireman, and he will say, "I say, how was work?" He goes, "Yeah, no." It goes a bit annoying. We got like a call, so we had to go out and do something. Yeah. And I thought in my head, the fire brigade was like constantly just driving from fire to fire. It's not.
There's a cat up a tree.
Yeah,
we'll have to risk assess that.
It's a lot playing FIFA, from what I've heard.
No, I mean they do a good job. I don't want to fall out.
I'm not against the fire brigade.
I've already fell out with football Twitter La Liga. I don't want firemen on the case as well. But yeah, it sounds like it's a good. I wanted to do that, but my eyesight was rubbish, so I just was like, I'll go in the police instead.
Yeah, right. Fair play. Do you have good eyesight then, fire brigade?
I think I just assumed you did. I might be wrong.
Are you thinking pilots?
Maybe, yeah. It's a fire. I can't see it. It's really hot. Oh.
The one thing I'm quite into is bin day routines. A lot of people have asked me to ask you about your bin day routine. What's your sort of bin setup? Is it wheelie bins? Is it what? Talk me through it.
So we've got the.
What's your channel about?
Just interviews. Love it. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
I've got the.
I don't know, you always pass on to about bins. What's this about? Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the sort of green box where you put all the glass in. We've got the brown bin, which is all the which causes me a lot of stress, and then we've got the black bin, which is the general rubbish. The brown bin is the recycling, like paper and all that. Every 2 weeks, the paper one, and it stresses me out because I get a lot of Amazon stuff, and I'll come inside on like day 2 of having it empty, and obviously the wife, that's not going to last 2 weeks. No. It's 3/4 full. It's only day 2, 14 days.
We're quite old school. We've got like black bin bags you put out. There's no wheelie bins.
All right.
Black bin bags and clear bin bags for recycling. Yeah. People look down on that. It's brilliant. You can throw out unlimited stuff.
That's good. Yeah, that is good.
People just look and go, "Oh, God, so that is not." Yes, downside, you've got to get up early in the morning to deliver it because deliver the bins, because foxes are going to get it. Yeah. But on the plus side, unlimited rubbish. Absolutely.
Yeah, foxes. We've got foxes around now. I've got an idea then. And maybe there's some sort of courier service for my recycling that I can send down in clear bags.
Yeah,
you can put them out.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I mean it might I'd be easy to just take them to the tip.
Yeah,
But
probably. Yeah.
the downside, though, I mean, I don't know what's in your recycling, but we have to go to a bottle bank for our glass, like it's the 80s.
No, we've got that. That's what we have the little the box for.
Okay.
You can put all your glass in there, which is. I don't know how we get away with it, Robbie, because it's like I always say this as well. I must be really anal to my wife. It's the only anal thing I am. But it's like, what did we do before recycling?
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff we were throwing away.
Do you remember when it was like a big thing, like asking someone if they recycle? like no one now, presumably no one doesn't recycle.
I don't know. I think there's certain people who just chuck it away.
What minor things like that annoy you about people? I know there's going to be a few of these sort of things. Are there some things that irrationally irritate you?
I just genuinely don't have a lot of time for the general public.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds horrible because if someone comes up to me, like he's probably a bad example because basically if I went on camera, I'd probably told him to F off because I thought he was being smart. But if someone comes up to me, I'll do a picture and I will give you 30 seconds max. Yeah. But I just find if I'm in a car or I'm walking, like today I was walking my daughter to school and we walked around the corner and someone else came around the corner and we're sort of 5 yards and I went, this is why you touch it. I was like, it just irritates me how close they are to me. I just don't like it. And this whole COVID thing, just runners, old people now they've had the vaccine, like they just don't move out of the way. This has been bothering me for a long, long time.
The old people thing is quite annoying because I'm in the middle of this. I'm not in either camp. Yeah. But all the young people who are kind of fine have all stayed inside for a year, and then now the old people go, "Oh, we still got this lockdown for? Oh, you're all right, mate. Everyone's waiting inside for a year. Just hang on."
They're the new gangs, the gangster granny. Like they are the new gang members because the worst one I had was today. I was walking to get into the car, and there was this the neighbours come as a couple. Now they're neighbours. They would normally be like running away like I've got the plague, and they just went morning. But I was like, "You're walking to what? Stop!" Like right up close to me, and I was like, "Yeah, you've had the vaccine, haven't you?" "Yeah, we had it like 4 weeks ago." I'm like, in my head, because I'm quite polite, I'm like, "F off! I haven't had the vaccine yet."
Have you stayed clear of COVID? Have you been all right?
I think so.
Yeah. Same here. All right. Well done, us.
We're all right.
Yeah. And that's the plus side of being this. I've been very defensive in my COVID thing. You see some people talking, being very risque. When I go to the supermarket, I like to use my trolley as a weapon. Yeah. Like to block, even if I only need a basket, I'll take a trolley and use that.
Well, I thought I was being really clever because I said this a few weeks ago to the wife. I was like, you know what? I've done really well on lockdown, making loads of money off YouTube. I'm joking. I do all right, but yeah, I've avoided everything. I've hardly seen anyone, no family members. I don't go and see anybody. It's great. My job can be done from clicking a button.
Yeah.
And I've got zero chance of getting COVID. And then she said, but your kids all go to 3 separate schools. Yeah. Well, they're mixing with loads and loads. And it just dawned on me, actually, I'm probably pretty high risk for getting it.
Yeah.
But I think I've done quite well. I mean, I don't even care. As long as they open the pubs and the football grounds, I'm not really bothered about a holiday.
No? Do you like holidays?
See, there's a good clip of me with a pineapple cellar. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Just, I attract trouble.
Yeah.
But, no, I do like a holiday. I like a bit of hot weather, but I'm not that bothered about it.
Do you like a sort of beach? Do you enjoy? I know that was Mallorca, wasn't it? Yeah. Is it beach holidays that you tend to go for?
We used to, yeah. But with kids, they always want a lolly or an ice cream or something like that, or can you come and play in the pool? And I'm like, with my complexion. He's playing, look, he's been down the gym the last 8 months. He's mahogany. He's got a lovely tan. He's only doing it to show off. He's not really playing with his kids. He's showing off to all the women on the side.
Yeah.
I'll go in there and they'll laugh.
Yeah. I find whenever because I don't really like beach holidays generally, but I sort of think I do when I haven't been on one for a while. Because I think, do you know what? I'm going to do so much reading. It's going to be brilliant and all that. Once you've read for like an hour, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of done for reading now. Because you can't just read for a week.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but before kids, we used to go away, get Ibiza or wherever, and you just sit by the pool with, Tony Adams' autobiography, Gazza's autobiography, maybe a John Grisham, and just be constant, just read. I
can't do it.
Love it. But I haven't done it for years.
Yeah, I don't mind reading. I like reading, there's a limit to the amount of time I can read, and it's not a full day.
No. And I think the only bit I enjoy about the holiday really is the end of the night when all the kids have gone to bed, and if you're on holiday with people, you sit with them or you sit with your wife, and you just drink.
Yeah.
And you go on till about 3 a.m, and then you realise your mistake at 7 o'clock in the morning when them lot all get up.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day is just like, ugh, and then you want to do the same again the next night.
Kids really do make you think about your drinking, don't they? Like your timings and all that. I regularly now, the tactic I've found out is to go to bed relatively early. So generally I'll be in bed about 9:30, 10, and then I'll wake up naturally about 5 a.m, and they get up about 6. So they're sort of getting up like, oh, wake up. I'm like, unlucky, I'm up.
Yeah.
I've won.
Wake them up.
Yeah, come on.
I've jumped this before. We were chasing a lad who we found out afterwards was he was a footballer, a youth player for a local club, and he was running away from the scene of a robbery. I can't remember whether he'd done it or not, but we were chasing him, and we came down there, and he ran and he jumped it, and it was one of those where you were running and you either stopped or you went for it. But actually, I would not be able to do it now.
Do you want to try?
Think about it. No, God no. I wouldn't do it now, but I mean, when you're running at full pelt and you catch it right.
I reckon I could do that.
Yeah, I think you can do that. You're going to do it?
No. So Mark, I bought you a present.
Good.
Surprising.
I always like a present, yeah.
I know you weren't expecting that. Do you like to drink beer?
I do. And wine. And Guinness.
Are there any alcoholic drinks you don't like?
There's only port.
Okay.
Only ports. And I think that's because I've drank it when I've had a load of other stuff as well, but it always makes me throw up, so I just don't like port.
Well, I've had a new lockdown hobby, which has been making beer. And I have here my home brew, Sinday IPA. Can't drink it for another week or so because it's got a bottle condition.
We need to be really careful getting alcohol around here, because I guarantee, like wasps attract an open can of Coke.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alkies around here. they'll be all swarming round us in a minute.
All right, well, I'll put it away for now.
I won't joke.
I know. That's been my lockdown hobby, beer brewing. Have you picked up any new hobbies or anything during lockdowns? During the past year?
I have picked up alcoholic tendencies, but not brewing, just drinking. Yeah.
How's that been for you? Because I found in lockdown 1, it was like the last days of the Roman Empire. I was like, regularly I've been cutting homeschooling short to start drinking.
It's like Christmas, isn't it? Over Christmas when you start Christmas and you'll have a drink every day, and then by the second week of Christmas you're actually starting at 11 o'clock. It was heading that way. I had to sort of go the other way on it really, and just try and limit it to once a week.
Yeah, I found, I sort of, after a couple of weeks I thought I've got to do something about this to get out of control. So I just didn't drink for a few weeks, and then I sort of mellowed out a bit, but yeah. It was quite harsh.
But that's pretty good to be doing something like that. Is it easy to do?
Yeah, it's surprisingly easy, because like I remember as a kid, like your mates' dads would have like beer brewing kits which just stink and be disgusting. Presumably, I didn't have it as a kid, but I got some kit and just made it. We're like from all grain, not like some of this extract stuff, like a proper all grain thing where you just start with all that. And I could make beer, but I didn't think it would be nice beer, but it genuinely is. Yeah, it's surprisingly easy. A lot of cleaning. I think being a brewer would be mostly cleaning, but I don't mind a bit of cleaning. Do you enjoy cleaning?
I do when I'm in the mood for it. Every now and again, I'm going to clear out my workspace, but it takes a long time to do it. But I do. I think it's quite therapeutic, isn't it? I do like doing DIY. I just don't do it enough. And then when I start doing it, I'm actually not bad at this, and it's actually quite good for the soul when you do something and then you see the result of it, like washing the car or going to put petrol in the car, which is not DIY.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's like,
I was really impressed by your DIY when you included putting petrol in the car under that.
I put my own petrol in the car sometimes. Yeah, cut the grass. These are not DIY. These are just menial tasks that I just can't be asked to do.
It's DIY to the grass.
Yeah,
to a degree. I like mowing the lawn.
Tell you what I hate. Go on, putting the washing out. I've always hated it.
Oh yeah.
Like, to the point where if the wife was going to work and I had a day off from the police, like on a Tuesday, because I might work the weekend, she'd send me a text message and say, "Are you in a good mood?" "Oh, not too bad, it's a day off." "How good is your mood out of 10? "Probably about 7. The washing machine the washing needs to be put out. Oh, piss off! I'm not doing that.
It's not.
But I don't know why. It's we were talking before about logical things. I hate putting the washing out. I hate hanging it up. It just seems like a total waste of time, and it irritates me. The pegs, the washing, the hanging it up.
It's just endless. It's just repetitive, isn't it?
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't redo it in my house, and not because I'm sexist, but just because it's one of those things that my wife has taken upon herself to do, which is what I'm absolutely fine with. Yeah, I never redo it.
I put it up with. In fact, there's an easy way out. There's a tumble dryer and there's a dishwasher because I hate washing the pots as well. That irritates me. I'll be stood there doing it. Why am I doing this? Because they need to get cleaned. But it's just a waste of time. Like, put it in the dishwasher. No, that's a waste of energy to do it. It's only a few plates.
Yeah, I'll put things in the dishwasher, but the dishwasher where there's like 5 things in it. And my mum, when she's there, will say, like, why have you put that on? It's such a waste. I go, I'm happy to spend whatever it costs in electricity and this to not have to sit there and scrub the pot.
I think it's a generational thing. I think my dad's definitely like it as well. Like with saving money, it's like where I've parked today. There is a car park a little bit closer that's cheaper, but I like the car park I've used.
Yeah,
it's £1 more an hour. Now this would be an outrage. This would be if this was brought in the olden days on a Sunday roast. This would be brought up as like a big topic for 20 minutes. I can't believe you did that. Well, guess what else I did? Guess what else I did? I went and bought a sandwich from Pret when there's a Greggs across the road, and it cost £3 more for the whole meal.
You talk about generations. There's quite a bit of like millennial, boomer, and Gen Z, or whatever it's called, arguments going on. I'm just at the very tail end of Generation X, and we seem to. What are you? Are you sort of verging into?
I don't know why.
I'm not sure.
I don't know why, because there's all these, like you said, there's all these things. The boomer and everything like that. You're such a boomer and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I don't know where I am. I think I sit in between, really. You know, I think that our parents and that older generation, they had no phones. Apparently, everything was a lot better then. But I grew up where we had no phones, we had no internet, but then went into that. So
let's go through the generations then and discuss them. Boomers. This is baby boom after the Second World War. Sorry. Common criticisms are that they had it easy and now judge younger people who've had it harder. What are your thoughts on the boomers?
Got some quite strong thoughts, because obviously they grew up in a time where a lot of things that are totally unacceptable now are still were acceptable when they were growing up, and I generally think their right-wing opinions are probably to do with that. But I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, my parents wouldn't have grown up in the war, so and most of my grandparents are dead now. They are. They're not quite redundant, so I don't want to say that. But the ones that have gone with the times, I think, they're not too bad. But there are people out there who are just absolutely ignorant and think that, you know.
Yeah, I think people give like youngsters now quite a hard time. Why do you generally think they're much better than us, than our generation?
I mean, look. I mean, on a sinister level. I mean, I like watching things like Line of Duty and this, that, and the other, and I'm watching something called the Pembrokeshire Murders at the moment. And I watched something called White Post Farm, which was about a murder in a farm where like the whole family got shot. And in general, society is like, I remember going to my GCSEs many years ago and looking around the maths exam, and there was 3 girls pregnant, and we were 15. So I think there's less murders now.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be as many teenage pregnancies, and yet they're too young to have phones and this, that, and the other. I think the youth of today are actually pretty switched on compared to what was going on.
Climate strikes and all things like this. We weren't doing anything like that.
They're very aware of what the world, and also I think one of the great things is the diversity. Like my kids don't see race or you know. I always get my words mixed up. So race, you know, if somebody's gay, they don't see that as an issue. Age, you know, gender, it's just not an issue. Whereas it definitely was when I was. It was inherited. I'm probably the same for you as well.
Yeah.
You used to get taken the piss out for being fat. You know, girls weren't allowed to play football. Because I came from a rural school, if you weren't white, you were like what's going on there then, sort of things like that. So I think a lot of things are a lot better.
Yeah,
the only thing that worries me is
bullying.
technology is the one that worries me.
What, in terms of too much of it?
I do think when I look at my upbringing, the one thing I really lament about my kids and every other kid is that there's not enough of the outside time. You know, at the end of the day, when you go out and play down the park with your mates, or you get on your bike, and you know, there's not a lot of that. It's all done on your phone. It's very easy to, you know, just be constantly WhatsApping or whatever else they're on. I think that's quite sad, because I think it, from a health point of view, I wonder what it's going to do. And also, intelligence-wise, my kids are crap at geography. Like if I said, "Where's Weston-super-Mare?" they'd probably say they played in the rugby, didn't they, last year? You know, it's actually down near Bristol. Or
you see, as a kid, I wouldn't have known Weston-super-Mare because my only knowledge of geography was where football teams were. So if a team didn't have a big football team, it could be a massive city. But I would never have known where Wakefield was because it didn't have a football.
To be fair, there'll be people who probably seen me tell that story before, and actually I've just buried myself, because actually there was a guy who was Chinese who started in our school in year 3, and I got introduced to him. I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "Weston-super-Mare." And he went, "Oh yeah, I was rooting for them in the World Cup, like Western Samoa." And it was like, "No, it's down near Bristol." But no, I think generally everything's on Google, isn't it? Even I do.
Yeah.
I sometimes think I should do Sudoku or do, you know, get one. I've got a little Who Wants to Be a Millionaire book, and I'll try and do a couple a day, just to get the mind working for itself, because I think everything is so accessible, and I think that's the problem with the youth today. But I think generally a lot of people probably watch your content and they watch my content who are young people, and they've got personalities. They're real people.
But do you not think it's just all this technology stuff? Do you not think it's just... Like, I think when chess came out, I bet all the parents were going, "Oh, for God's sake, he's playing chess all the time." Yeah. Whereas now, if your kid was playing chess, you'd be going, "Oh my God, my kid's playing chess, that's incredible," or something. Or, and to say, "Oh, he spends all his time reading books," was probably the thing. I read something once about kaleidoscopes, and apparently when the kaleidoscope came out, there were like articles in the paper, people going, "Oh, these kids just look at their kaleidoscopes all the time, they're wasting their lives," and all that. So I wonder if it's just that.
I do worry about technology though, because I just wonder where it's going to take us in 20 years' time. But you're right.
What's your vision for the future?
I think VR and everything like that. I think people are going to be, because I was quite scared a few years ago speaking to. We were down the pub, actually just around the corner from me. I was talking to a guy who was about 45. Never really spoken to him in the office before. He seemed like dead straight, you know. Not straight in relation to sexuality. That's not why I was talking to him. I'll sit down and talk to you. You're not a threat. But I was like, no, just straight down the middle. I think I knew he had like a family and stuff, and he sat down and we were chatting away, and he was like, I was talking about FIFA, and he said, "Oh, I'm not into any of that. I play Second Life." And I was like, "Oh, I've heard about that. What's that all about?" He says, "Well, basically, you have this whole other life." And I'm like, "Right, okay, this sounds intriguing." And yeah, I basically just play about 6 hours a night. I'm like, "Well, you've got a wife and kids?" "Yeah, after about 8 o'clock, she'll just go and read a book in bed, the kids will go to sleep, and I'll play it till about 2 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, what goes on then? And he, for the next 10 minutes, he was just telling me about the family he's got on Second Life, what he's doing, this, that, and the other. I was like, you know, this is a guy and he's 45. This is really dangerous. So, but I think that sort of, I've got one now, one of these virtual things, and it's brilliant for. Actually, I bought it on lockdown, so because all the gyms shut. I never went to the gym anyway, but you put it on, and if you're like in a gym and it's like these things come towards you and you box them, you do it for half an hour, it's really, really good. But when you've got it on, like, you're in there. And I think that sort of thing is going to start happening. People are going to start putting this on, and they're married to, you know, Margot Robbie, and they live in Barbados, and we're off for the weekend. And literally, what they're really doing is they're sitting in, they're having a pot noodle, then they're sitting it down, they're putting it on. And for the next 12 hours, them and Margot are off, you know, and they're living it that. I think that
it's kind of giving up on your actual life, isn't it? Going, let's just do the other one. That's probably.
I think that might be where it heads, to be honest.
It reminds me of. Do you remember when like Guitar Hero was a thing, and people would like play Guitar Hero, and you get someone who goes, "Oh, this guy's really good at Guitar Hero." I go, but the amount of time he's put into Guitar Hero, he could have spent learning the guitar that might have. Got an interest from a lady or something like that.
No one plays it anymore.
What, Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
Don't think so, no. Guitar they do.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. But yeah, I mean, surely it takes a similar amount of time to get all right at guitar than Guitar Hero.
Yeah. It's like Fortnite and things like that, isn't it? At some point they'll stop, but then again, these people have done very well out of it, haven't they? But they spend hours and hours and hours on it. And I've got a nephew who's like 13, and he won't get in trouble because I got told the story, and it's like he plays on his PS5 a lot, and he got one for Christmas, and he's always having it taken off him for various things, like obviously school kids Zoom calls. My sister's been getting a call from the teacher saying, I really like his dedication, but he shouldn't still be in the maths class 4 hours after it finished. Basically, he's just gone in, moved the mouse about, and left it whilst he's downstairs playing PS5. And I think that there's a lot of kids like that, aren't there? They're just on their games all the time.
It's a hard
but
time.
I used to be like the championship manager, to be honest. I'd come in at 4 o'clock from school, and next thing you know, it's like midnight, and you're only in the 4th round of the cup. You thought, I'll get a whole season in.
Do you think you could do a job as a manager? If you became, say you got the Man U job, surprise employment, but ignore that bit.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think you'd get on?
It wouldn't be a very popular appointment. It's from Nottingham.
I like it.
I think like people always say you're quite negative and you're quite abusive and everything like that, and I'm like, my upbringing is Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, I think some people forget what he was like. He was very moody, very petulant, very passionate, very aggressive, and that's what I would be like. I mean, I did a little bit of management for the United stand team, and I have done management and coaching away, and I'm actually surprisingly quite calm, but until I start losing, and then that's it, and I don't really have a filter.
It'd be tough to win over the players, I think, that first training session, right? You might not know me, but I am the surprising appointment as manager. How would you broach that?
I think I'll be all right with Bruno. I've always been all right with you.
Yeah.
Said you're quite good.
Martial,
I mean, you've been a bit lately, but I've always had your back.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you later, Harry Maguire.
Don't get your kit on. Right.
McTominay and Fred, get out.
Put the cones out and leave. Yeah.
That was enough to get me picked for the under manager. Yeah, things are different.
I remember having a bad day at Sky. It was like a Friday, the day before the show. I worked on it, and it was all really stressful. I had locks on, and I was walking through the sort of building where all the people in suits worked, like all the sort of important businessy people. I was walking past a meeting, and I was just thinking, I'm having such a bad day. And there's this guy who'd been taken out of this meeting by his boss, and all I heard as I walked past him was his boss. Everyone else in the meeting was looking out the window at this bloke getting completely bollocked by his boss. And all I heard when I walked past was his boss going to him, I can't believe you've lost £250,000. And I thought, no matter what happens today, I'm not going to lose £250,000. I'm not going to lose 100 grand. I'm not going to lose anything. My day can't be as bad as his. Yeah.
Do you think those days still exist now, though, where you can actually bollock people? Because I think back to, I remember going into a police cell down there, not a police cell. I'd arrested somebody and I took them in, and there was a big queue of people, and the desk sergeant was having a bad day, and I was the last one in the queue, and it takes half an hour to book them on, and he was clearly pissed off, and he just singled me out for literally no reason. He said, "What are you arrested for? Assault." "Oh, well, you could caution them." I've never done a caution on the street in my life. "Well, there's new legislation that you can now do it." And I was just like, right, okay. I was like, I had people coming up to me for weeks saying that was bang out order. Yeah, cheers for sticking up for me though. But I'm like, I just think now, do people still get bollocked like that, or is it like, you can't speak to me like that? I've lost £250,000, but you can't. There's a code.
Yeah,
you're getting fired, not me. You spoke to me in the wrong way. And I think life has gone a bit like that now. People are almost scared to reprimand people because there might be a complaint coming in the way, even though the person's done something like lost £250,000.
Yeah.
Or
things have definitely changed. I just remember now at school, someone not doing something right in a music class. The music teacher was a bit mental. I think he got sacked eventually. But I remember as punishment, he made them pick up a chair and hold this chair above his head. And like, if he started struggling, they go, put it back up and scream. That's some kind of war torture.
I in an RE class, I'll cut it short because I've said it before, but in an RE class, we were doing an RE quiz, which in itself is totally For 3 questions, which disciple stabbed Jesus in the back? No. And I knew they were cheating. I knew they had a Bible on the last. That's so geeky. They had a Bible on the gap.
You've got a Bible. He's got a Bible.
So I was like, I'm not having this. We're losing by 2 points. We got the question wrong on Bartholomew. So I goes under the bloody table, up under the table. It was a girl's table. It was probably inappropriate, but I wasn't thinking anything sexual. I just wanted to get the Bible off her lap. So I came up this table, under, like between her legs, basically. I'm Jesus with the Bible, and she said she made me stand on a chair at the front of the class in the corner for 45 minutes, which is it's really humiliating. Like if I stood up on here above you now, I'd feel really vulnerable.
Yeah.
But with people basically laughing at you for 45 minutes, and I was like, that's just too bad. That's just you wouldn't get away with that now.
Do you think kids still mistreat substitute teachers like they used to? Does that still go on?
Definitely.
Does it?
My daughter was telling me just before Christmas they had a substitute teacher that they didn't like, so they organised a coup where they went to the headmaster, 8 of them, and basically said we want her gone. I went to the headmaster with my daughter on the Monday and I said, this is totally unacceptable. She said, she's already been moved on.
It worked. Yeah. A successful overthrowing of a teacher.
So it goes back to the youth of today. They're quite well organised at getting things.
That's incredible.
We'd have just moaned about it, then gone and played football or something.
Yeah. I remember someone, those little, if you get these days, ring reinforcers, as in like if you had like paper that went in a file, you get little circular things that you put round the holes to reinforce the holes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those for a while. I remember someone sticking 200 of those to the back of a substitute teacher once during a lesson. Just get walking up. It takes a lot of walking around the class to stick 200. I was like, how many was on the sheet? On the back of his jacket.
They've always been lambs to the slaughter. Even when we used to get a PE one, it's quite straightforward to be a PE substitute teacher, I think.
Yeah.
Go and run around the field. Let's have a game of 5-a-side. And there was this one, and he was like quite well built as well. And you watched him crumble before your eyes over an hour. As people just, there's always the people that, I mean, we're unintentionally funny. There was people who were like, I mean, they're probably, God knows, they're probably unemployed now, but they'd have talents. They would be like the most inept people in the class, but they could just come out with a one-liner like that. Well, I tell you what, substitute teachers to people like that were like, a lamb to a lion, really.
We had this PE teacher. We were playing indoor cricket, and the class was split into 2 teams. And the team that I was on was a bit more sort of sportingly able. So I saw how it was divided up and go, like I'm not at cricket, but I was sort of on that team and they're going, we're gonna win this. I mean, it was quite easy. And our teacher was a sort of a slightly, I won't name him because he's actually still at the school now. He's the only one from my year time who's still there. But he was the PE teacher, and he was quite sort of like thought he was quite a big deal, a bit of an athlete, and all these and so we got them bowled them all out or something like that. And he said he goes, why are you celebrating? He goes, oh, it's at the end of the game. He goes, no, there's someone left to bat. No, there isn't. He goes, yeah, me. And he got up like properly lined up, ready to play cricket. So someone bowled, and we were like 13, and he was like a grown man, and he absolutely leathered this ball as hard as he could. And this kid, Stephen Ed, I've never seen anything like it, did the most acrobatic one-handed catch I've ever seen. It was unbelievable reflexes to catch him out like that, and he just lost it. And all he did afterwards, just threw it up and got like this. It's really unsporting to celebrate. Lost his mind. We're like 13-year-old kids.
I think
it's weird.
I mean, it's like with PE teachers. I don't know whether it actually happened or not, but like, what it's like when you're secondary school. Definitely, there was always these rumours, and it wasn't gender specific. It was like, well, whenever you have swimming, they're always hanging around, aren't they? So they always have a bad reputation. But then the girls would say, oh yeah, they're always looking at us as well. So being a PE teacher. Having said that, again, sign of the times. If you forgot, I did it a couple of times. I don't know whether people do it now. When you go swimming, even when it was at a weekend, you'd roll your towel up with your swim trunks in it and put it under your arm. I don't know whether people do it now, or they just chuck it in a bag. And a couple of times I'd have PE at school and I'd roll it up. I'd get to school, I'd unroll it, and I hadn't put the trunks in. They're at home, and I'd go, sir, I haven't got the trunks. Have you got your gym kit? Yeah, wear them shorts. Okay, well these were shitty, like remember them shorts you used to wear in the 80s? They weren't. Everyone now, they got these like Nike and everything like that. They were like basically just like wafer thin, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they were white. So you jump in.
You see everything, yeah.
There's no point in having them on. Yeah. And I did used to wonder why you never used to say, have you got your black rugby ones?
Yeah.
You'd always be, have you got your white ones?
I can beat that, Mark. I went to an all-boys school and there was actually a swimming pool on the site, so it was like a private swimming pool, and there was a teacher that if you forgot your swim gear would make you swim naked.
Oh, it's dodgy.
It was years, even at the time I was thinking this is a...
There's always stories about PE teachers. I don't know whether it goes on in schools now, but I wouldn't want to be a PE teacher. And then we had a hothead teacher who, I can't name his name, I can't say, it's not fair on him, but he, we were playing a game a bit like you were playing cricket, and he was the ref. And I'd been playing for 8 weeks, and I'd scored every week in those, and I was the top scorer on this PE lesson. And in the 7th one, they'd all ganged up and said, whatever happens, he's not scoring about me. And they were kicking me all over the place, this, that, and the other. And of course, being petulant, eventually, I just lost my and I got sent off with this other lad. We had a bit of a fight. We're walking off, and the PE teacher's like, shouts. It's just that one thing that breaks the camel's back as I'm walking off. He went, I'm disgusted in you. I thought you were better than I. Oh, off. I tell you what, I've never myself so much. He snapped like a breadstick, and he's charging towards me like a bull. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, I was like, I'd virtually on my hands and knees, but as he got to turn, sorry. I thought he was going to kick this out. It's like anger issues. I think he got the sack a few weeks later because he was down the pub with all the teachers, and they got into a fight, and he chinned a history teacher.
Wow. That's punchy. Let's carry on walking.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about this area, Mark?
Well, that pub there is where Bill Clinton drank when he was at in Birmingham.
Nice. What was he doing in Birmingham?
I think he was just looking for action, probably. That's the Sea Life Centre over there.
You ever been?
Nope.
No. What about canals? You ever been on a canal boat?
I have. My father-in-law's got a canal boat, and it's good fun. I'm absolutely terrible at it. I mean, people think it's quite easy, but it's like one of them things where you move it a little bit and you start going one way. And basically, I was just like a snake going down the thing. But it's an art. The only thing I don't like about it is it's quite relaxing. It's one of those things where you can stand at the edge. It doesn't go particularly quick. You can take in the surroundings. You can have a can of directors or whatever like that, and it's great. But then you hit locks, and that is stressful because if there's another one coming the other way, then there's an etiquette to it. You've got to fill the thing up and let it out and everything like that. So if it was just a long canal with nobody else on it, I'd like it. And then if another canal boat's coming the other way,
Sounds like Norfolk Broads is what you need. There's no locks there. Lovely, the Norfolk Broads.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, it's flat, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
You need flat land.
Yeah.
All around here, there's a lot of locks. So.
Yeah, get involved. That's your next holiday sorted.
Yeah, but no, I used to work up here, just over there, and
just in the police.
No, when I was just before I left banking there. And then you've got Broad Street at the end down there, which if anybody knows anything about Birmingham nightlife, that used to be the place to be. Birmingham Broad Street, all the pubs there. And I think this is the NIA, just behind us up there, which has seen great bands such as Jedward and probably Shania Twain and people like that. I think it's had Elton John. I think Oasis played there actually. I've never been to anything other than, I think I went to the indoor athletics there, wasn't it?
Right, Mark, so that's the end of our walk. Have you had a nice time?
Very good, very good. It's got me back into walking.
Has it? You've always been you've always dabbled.
I've dabbled with it.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking of branching out into just walking without a purpose.
Just aimlessly, yeah.
Which is pretty much the metaphor for my life.
It's the next step in your walking journey, I think. Yeah. Thank you very much for taking the time out to do it and for showing me around the canals of Birmingham, local murder spots, all that sort of stuff. It's been absolutely lovely.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing this. Goldbridge's murder mystery tours around Birmingham.
Yeah, I'll watch. Brilliant. What have you got coming up? Anything exciting for people to watch, or just the same old?
Same old.
Right, there you go. Tune in. Brilliant. I'll put links down below. Back with another walk next week, hopefully. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go and check out some more murder spots.